date starts in the small cafe. There's hearts everywhere cause it's Valentine's Day. We order up waffles, then share the whole plate. Sit by the window and start to debate. There's nobody else I'd rather spend my everyday with. I think it's sweet, she sometimes winks when she laughs. I like the way she dances barefoot in the grass. Yeah, we get along alright. Cause I've been dating me my whole life. Afternoon sun starts to peek through the clouds. We take the back streets to avoid the crowds. Waltz over sidewalks and twirl in the breeze. She'll catch me if I get weak in the knees. There's nobody else I'd rather spend my everyday with. She doesn't mind that I don't know how to cook. She likes the way I keep my nightstand filled up with books. And I think it's sweet, she sometimes winks when she laughs. I like the way she dances barefoot in the grass. Yeah, we get along alright. Cause I've been dating me my whole life. She doesn't mind that I don't know how to cook. She likes the way I keep my nightstand filled up with books. And I think it's sweet, she sometimes winks when she laughs. I like the way she dances barefoot in the grass. Yeah, we get along alright. Cause I've been dating me my whole life.
And it makes me happy, then it makes me sad. And I don't know why I always compare myself like that. I'm no icon, but I'm not that bad. Sometimes it's hard to accept where I'm at. Lately I get down on myself all the time, wishing I could change most the thoughts in my mind. Caring way too much about the people I don't like, watching all the best parts of their life. Now my anxiety is getting the best of me, cause I'm starting to believe everything I see.
And it makes me happy, then it makes me sad. And I don't know why I always compare myself like that. I'm no icon, I'm not that bad. Sometimes it's hard to accept where I'm at. Maybe it's instant gratification, know what I'm saying. All the things on the screen that I see that don't mean anything, but it makes me happy, and it makes me sad. Oh, and it makes me sad. Tell myself that I'm doing fine when I know I am nowhere near where I thought I would go. Seems like everyone has a map to this road. All my deepest fears are beyond.
출입문이 닫힙니다.
The next day.
A few moments later.
The next day.
보시겠습니다.
sad. I don't know why I always compare myself like that. I'm no icon, I'm not that bad. Sometimes it's hard to accept where I'm at. Lately I get down on myself all the time, wishing I could change most of the thoughts in my mind. Caring way too much about the people I don't like, watching all the best parts of their life. Now my anxiety is getting the best of me, 'cause I'm starting to believe everything I see.
And it makes me happy, and it makes me sad. And I don't know why I always compare myself like that. I'm no icon, but I'm not that bad. Sometimes it's hard to accept where I'm at. Maybe it's instant gratification, know what I'm saying? All the things on the screen that I see that don't mean anything, but it makes me happy, and it makes me sad. Oh, and it makes me sad. Tell myself that I'm doing fine when I know I am nowhere near where I thought I would go. Seems like everyone has a map to this road. All my deepest fears are of the unknown. Now my anxiety is getting the best of me, 'cause I'm starting to believe everything I see. And it makes me happy, then it makes me sad. And I don't know why I always compare myself like that. I'm no icon, but I'm not that bad. Sometimes it's hard to accept where I'm at.
Maybe it's instant gratification, know what I'm saying?
All the things on my screen that I see that don't mean anything, but it makes me happy, then it makes me sad.